Hey, Blue Table fans. I'm here with Paul.
Hello.
And he is a veteran expert Vampire Counts player. And he's going to tell you guys all about it, how to build your list, how to play it,
Yep.
and what the deal is. So I'm going to let him take it away right now.
Alright. So, I've played a decent amount of Vampire Counts, as I said.
Can you hold on a second? Can you do like 30% more enthusiasm level?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Alright.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
So, these are my Vampire Counts. They're my baby for fantasy. I absolutely love them.
Okay.
I have yet to do battle them in any competitive setting. Granted, I've only gone to a couple tournaments with them, but I've done pretty well with them, and they're absolutely fun to play. There's a lot of randomness to them, so they're awesome. Typically, most places I go, we don't use special characters, so as you see, I don't have any. They're just... It's a huge part of the game that we just really isn't much fun, because a lot of them, well, at least with the other armies, they get kind of crazy, especially with ours. We have Count Manfred, who is kind of a hoss, so a lot of tournaments don't let us use him.
What's a hoss?
Really strong, like incredibly strong. Because I know.
Got it, like Hoss from Bonanza.
Yes, like Count Manfred, he's a level 4 of death and vampires, so he's gonna get 4 level deaths, but 4 spells from death and 4 spells from vampires. So he is pretty crazy. Not to mention he's also a combat monster. So for right now, at least for this, we're gonna skip over the special characters, and I guess we'll start out with the Lord's choices right here.
Okay.
These are all the Lord choices that I have personally. I have my White King on foot, my 2 Necromancers, a Strigoi Ghoul King. There's a reason he's not painted, and my mounted Vampire Lord and my mounted BSB White King. So those are Lords and Heroes though. So at least for Lord's choices, without named characters, you have 3 choices. You have your Vampire Lord, your Master Necromancer, and your Strigoi.
So those are the generic characters.
Those are your only Lord choices that aren't named, that aren't special characters.
Okay.
Vampire Lords by far the best.
What is Vampire Lord?
Vampire Lords are by far the best. There's a reason that they are, 220 points base. But you can build them, like I personally make mine a level 4 and a combat lord, so he's up there around 500 points.
Whoa.
Over 500 points when I'm done building him.
Right.
Yeah. He's pretty crazy. They can take
what's the exact build? Like what magic do you take on him?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is typically I'll put him at level 4, so that way, because I play at the format of 2500 or 2400. That's typically what a full army will be. The Vampire Lord I'll put at level 4, and I'll usually give him vampires because your general has to take vampires as just the army.
The lore of vampires.
Yep, the lore of vampires, which is awesome by itself. Typically I only take vampires. Sometimes I'll take a level 1 Necromancer with death, but that's just if I have the room or whatever. So, like I said, first off I'll make him level 4, and then I'll mount him. So I'll put him on a Barded Nightmare. That's what I always do with mine. Okay. And
your BSB.
The Vampire Lord.
Oh, the Vampire Lord.
Yep,
got it.
He'll go on a Barded Nightmare because I stick him with my Black Knights.
Oh, okay. And, so hold on, let's take a look at the Black Knights here. That's a lot of Black Knights.
Yep, I run a bus of 13 of them.
That's huge.
Yep.
And by the way, back when I was doing Vampire Counts, I found out that your best bang for the buck for the Resurrection spell was the Black Knights.
Yes.
So when you bring those guys back, boy, you bring back some baddies.
What's great is you stick the Vampire Lord with them because...
Can you actually put the model in with them?
Yeah.
Just to show the folks how it looks?
What happens is you put him there and then you put the BSB next to him.
Okay.
I'll get into why you put them just like that.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
But the thing is with him, when you do the signature spell which raises them back, you're raising back 5 knights because you get your free 1 because they're not infantry. Right. And then you get his levels to him. So you get 5 knights back every time you get it off with him.
Oh, that's depressing.
Yeah, that's a whole rank of knights. That's why I took 13 of them when I played it. This is by the way, this is the 2,500 point army right here, minus the 1 black coach that I have. With it.
So you got a little deflector unit of ghouls.
Yep, just a
Some
small unit.
hounds. Now, do you really run them into that giant 20?
No, these are 4 units of 5.
Okay, got it.
So I have
they run around and just make problems.
10 crypt ghouls with the crypt ghast. I had 4 units of 5 dire wolves for chaff.
Okay.
A unit of 25 skeletons with just hand weapons and
That's
shield.
pretty good.
And then full command.
Right.
I'm missing 4 of them. I don't know where they went.
All right.
But then I had
Zombies?
I didn't run them like this, but I ran 2 units of 28 zombies.
Okay.
I would say one of the worst things you can do with them is put them in horde formation.
Right.
Because
zombies aren't meant to kill things.
Right. The zombies are meant to sit there and stay. And it's all about combat. That's why I always give them standards and musicians too. Because they're meant to sit there and win combat by having ranks. They're not going to kill anything. Their weapon skill 1. Always strikes last. They are not going to win combat.
Right.
I mean, as much as I love my Zombros, they are not going to win combat.
And, you know, what happens is they lose combat by 10, and then 10 guys go.
Right.
So
granted, you can also, like going back to the Vampire Lord, if he's in range, you get a D6 plus 4. You get 2d6 plus 4 zombies back.
Right.
So losing them in chunks and gaining them in chunks is just a common thing.
Right.
But typically for core, I'll take 2 big blocks of, like I said, I had 2 big blocks of zombies to tar pit. Unit skeletons to sit on objective,
right.
And then the dire wolves for chaff. And honestly, when I played them, I had my crypt ghouls just kind of run off by themselves and chase down whatever outliers he may have had.
Right. You know, if I could just chime in, when I do my vampire counts, I don't even have zombies. I just love skeletons. The models are cooler.
I think point for point, zombies are going to do more though. That's my personal opinion though, just because you get the extra D6 when you raise them. So you're not worried about them losing. They're going to sit there. Like, I had them tie up a unit of 40 Tzeentch warriors for 3 turns.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, go ahead.
So, anyway. That's
season to taste.
That's the, like I said, that's personal. I see a lot of people run all skeletons. I see a lot of people even run all ghouls. It's all personal preference, really. That's why I like the vampire counts.
I'm just saying the models are cooler.
Oh, yeah.
The new skeleton models are awesome. Well, new, meaning they came out within the last 5 years.
The newer skeletons are
Okay, go ahead. What's next?
So I went over the Vampire Lord. Like I said, your other Lord choices are the Master Necromancer. I personally don't take them because, like I said, I dump all my points for Lords into the Vampire Lord.
Right.
Because I found that is just, point for point, the best deal. Some people will keep the Vampire Lord at level 1 and then drop in a Necromancer, Master Necromancer, just so you have more channels.
Just
but yeah, I put
have
all
your
my eggs in one
guy
basket.
pound a couple of really good spells, and then that's it.
Mostly I like doing that because the Vampire Lord, the Lord of Vampires has 2 really good buff spells. They have one that lets them reroll to hit and make a free 8-inch move, and then they have another one that lets them reroll to wound, which is huge for the Black Knights because they have Killing Blow and they have Lance. I give them Lances on the strength 5 on the charge, wounding on 2s, rerolling to wound, rerolling to hit. It's insane.
Wow.
And then your last.
So basically, it sounds to me like you kind of hold up key units.
Yep.
And then those guys just run around and kill things wretchedly.
What this list specifically did was you flanked the bus with all of the direwolves, and you just funneled people into the Black Knights. If they couldn't kill them, you funneled them away. If they could, you funneled them in, and the Black Knights would wipe them in one round.
Right.
But anyway, the last Lord choice you have is your Strigoi.
Right.
There's a reason he's not painted because they're terrible.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
you just
cool.
I just want to point out that you actually get this model here and that model in the Terrorgeist.
Yep, that's why I have it. It's because I took both the mounted guys off of the Terrorgeist kit and put them on bases.
And they're great.
Well, I'll take that back. They're not terrible, but you have to unfortunately build a whole list around them. It almost seems like. He's initiative 8 with strength 5, 5 attack, so he's up there with the vampire. But the thing is, he can't take armor. He's a level 1 wizard. You can't upgrade him, and so he's a glass cannon. He's gonna reroll. He has infinite hatred, so he'll reroll to wound all the time. You can give him always strikes first, so he'll reroll to hit. But there's fun. Like one time, I built him up to where he had 12 attacks base, like 10, 12 attacks base. It's fun. They're cool, but unfortunately, they just compared to the Vampire Lord, they just don't match at all.
Right.
So then you have your heroes. Vampire accounts have like 4 or 5 named characters and heroes choices.
Now, talk about the other things in your army. I want to hear about these Vargeists.
Oh, okay.
Because they look pretty awesome.
Yeah, I want to already core, so we'll just go over special choices. That's what I have right here. Is
Okay.
Vargeists are pretty much an auto-include in almost any vampire account army.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah, they have fly, so they're movement 10. They have frenzy with 3 and 4 attacks base.
Right.
So
And they're vampire. They're considered
Yeah,
vampires.
they're vampiric, so they can march as much as they want. They're strength 5. They're toughness 4, but they
Now,
also
can
have
they
3
move
wounds.
20 from a flying march?
Right, if they march, they'll move 20
Yeah,
because
that's
they're flying.
tremendous.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's more or less just they're frenzied units that move 10.
Got it.
So they will fly across the board.
Yeah, and the models are really cool.
Oh yeah, they're awesome. I've
I
seen
mean-
people run. These ones aren't painted that great, but
Right. No, it's a basic paint job.
yeah, they're not.
Pre BTP.
Yeah, these
career.
are my old models. I
Right.
tried to paint them as fast as I could, pretty much.
Right. Okay, what's next?
Then you have, I love spirit hosts. There's another option that I was debating for a while, but I ended up taking them out, was bat swarms. But spirit hosts, I love them because, of course, they're ethereal. So everyone hates dealing with ethereal units.
Right.
So because
You can only hurt them with magic
or spells
or spells.
or magical weapons count.
So if a unit attacks them and they don't have magic weapons,
They just take it for a
then
round. If you don't have magical anything, they just kind of take it for a round. That's why I took them. Have them charge a giant, which is hilarious. They flank charge a giant, they'll sit there. As long as he doesn't roll his yelling ball, they'll win combat. It's hilarious. And then, like I said, for my special choices, I have my Black Knights too. So the Black Knights are by far your best way to deliver the Vampire Lord, which is the big focus of the army, because obviously, like I said, I dump almost all my Lord choice into just the Vampire Lord. So he's pretty awesome, and the Black Knights are sort of a delivery system for him. Unfortunately, the Black Knights...
delivery system. Awesome.
Unfortunately, the Black Knights themselves aren't that great. They have 1 attack, you know, but they do have Killing Blow, which is hilarious at certain times. You know, you run up against like Tzeentch Warriors or something like that, and they're just like, oh, dead, which is hilarious. But the only special choice I wish I had, but I don't, is Bat Swarms. Bat Swarms are hilarious. You take one of them, just one, that's all you need, because whenever they're in close combat with them, they give them always strikes last, which is hilarious. So
you just run that alongside another unit.
Run it right by the Black Knights, and as soon as they'll charge something with the Black Knights, and it's even High Elves, well, Elves in general now, because they all have always strikes first.
Right.
It's hilarious to give their big, you know, Death Star unit always strikes last, and then have the Black Knights come in and Killing Blow them, or then more or less help the Lord more. That's what, unfortunately,
I
that's
never thought about
what
that.
the vampire accounts keep coming back to, is you want your Lord to get in there, and he's gonna win the combats. He's gonna be the one killing those big units by himself. Especially the way you build him, because you give him the Red Fury and Quick Blood, so he's always strikes first, and he gets an extra attack for every time he wounds. He has 5 attacks base, so he has a high kill potential. And at the same time, he is tough as nails. Like on the mount, you give him a 1-up armor with heavy armor shield, well, enchanted shield, and then you give him the Talisman of Preservation or something like that. Gives him a 4-up ward. So he's going to be a good one. Another thing to help your Lord is what I was saying was the White King BSB on the horse, right by him, because what you can do is you give him the Night Shroud, which is by far the best magic item that the vampire counts have. They have a few, but that's by far the best. I would even put it up there with the Chalice of Blood and Darkness from the Chaos Dwarves. It's fantastic. This thing gives anything in base contact, always strikes last, and no strength bonuses from anything that's not magical. So that means if he has a great weapon, he loses the +2 strength, and he always gets always strikes last.
Wow.
That's anything in base contact. So what you do is, so you stick the Vampire Lord on the end of the unit with the BSB next to him, challenge with the Lord, so they have to come to him, and then the BSB is in base contact with him, so he's giving him the minus strength and always strikes last inside the challenge against the Lord.
Okay.
So then the Lord has always strikes first, so he's going to swing first with all of his attacks, and he's just going to murder whatever unfortunate character got his hands on. So that's a little fun
awesome.
thing to do. Night Shroud's only 40 points, so it's totally worth it. So And that, like I said, going back to the Black Knights and everything, that is the main list. That's the main hammer for this list specifically. I've seen people do it with Graveguard, so it's pretty much the Black Knights, but Graveguard on foot, Vampire Lord on foot, BSB on foot. Same idea. Night Shroud with the Blender Lord next to him.
The Blender Lord?
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
you nickname him when you give him.
Oh, I thought you said Blunder at the beginning.
No,
I was like,
the
oh, okay.
Blender Lord.
I don't know why
he's
it's
a
called
blender.
that, but I'm okay.
Because I personally give him the Sword of Anti-Heroes because that way he's getting more attacks. A lot of people give him the Ogre Blade, which gives him a bonus strength, which is always good. But I like the Sword of Anti-Heroes because it gives you the bonus strength and attacks to go off the Red Fury. And then we have our rare choices. Of course, the Terrorgeist with his 2d6 plus 6 scream. Just snipe off low leadership anything. That's
Oh yeah,
awesome.
those are fantastic.
Yeah. I mean,
Now, you said if you're feeling unsporting, you might field 2 of them.
Oh yeah, if in any like super competitive thing, you will see Vampire Council 2.
Right.
It's almost a staple at
Right.
this point because they're so good. They're 225 points. They have no save, but the thing is they fly, so you put them right next to your vampire the first turn, so they can march the 20 inches first, and then they just start screaming. And if you position them correctly, they won't be touched.
Right.
Obviously, all it takes is a lucky cannon shot to kill them, but that's the thing.
But that would be true of anything.
Yeah, that's true with any.
It's almost a non-statement.
Right. I personally love the Black Coach too. It's hilariously tough. This thing, people don't see it a lot because the 195 points is a little pricey, but it's a chariot with a 3-up armor and a 4-up ward.
Wow.
This thing is insane. And not to mention, the way it works is at the beginning of your magic phase.
I'd like to point something out. In Warhammer Fantasy, you get both your armor save and your ward save.
Right. That's what makes it awesome.
Right. It's a big deal.
This is a chariot that's tough as nails. And this thing, at the beginning of your magic phase, it has something called Vocation of Death. So at the beginning of your magic phase, you roll for your Winds of Magic, and then you do all your channels and everything, and then you take all the dice you have and you roll them. And for every 6, the Black Coach siphons away a dice. You still get to use it for the phase, but it siphons it away to power up the Black Coach. And it stacks. So the first time it siphons, the Black Coach adds +1 to the number of impact hits. For 2 of it, the Cairn Wraith and Nightmares on the chariot have +1 strength. After 3, the Black Coach impact hits, Nightmares.
Is this cumulative? Like
yes,
turn
they
after
all
turn?
stack.
Oh wow. Okay.
After 3, the Black Coach's impact hits, Nightmares, and Cairn Wraiths attacks gain the Killing Blow and Flaming attacks.
Oh.
It gets better. After 4, the Black Coach gets Magic Resistance 2 and Strider. After 5, it goes Ethereal, and after 6 or more, it gets Fly.
That's
So
awesome.
after 6, it's a flying, Killing Blow, Flaming chariot with Magic Resistance. And this thing is, oh yeah, being ethereal. That's what makes it dumb, is that it can get magic resistance and ethereal. So you can try and shoot a spell at it, but then it's gonna have a 2-up ward against it.
Right, because it's cumulative with the 4-up ward.
Yep. Anything that causes
It gets
wounds,
magic resistance too.
Yep.
That's
Because it'll
ridiculous.
make its 4-up ward to a 2-up.
So the only way to kill it then is with a hero with a magic
You
weapon.
have to walk up
basically.
and smack it.
Yeah.
That's the
Wow.
only way you'll kill it.
By what turn do you think it's maxed out?
On average, it'll take 3.
Okay.
But
That's good.
you should get, depending on your roll, you might get 1 or 2 every
I'm
turn.
loving that.
But so it'll take normally 3 turns to do it. Another one that I see a lot for rare is Mortis Engines. Mortis Engines are pretty good.
I love the Mortis engine. It looks cool.
That's like,
Has a cool name and does a cool thing.
Yep, gives everything regeneration. I typically see that a lot with the Graveguard lists because they're slow, so they can kind of walk behind them the whole time and keep giving them regeneration.
Right, don't run the Mortis engine up to try and kill things.
Well, I've seen people do 2, and what you do is you fly them up as fast as you can, because when they die, depending on the turn, they explode and do a bunch of hits on everything in range of it.
Right.
So I've seen people just suicide bomb them forward and just destroy enemy lines with them. It's hilarious. It's a little gimmicky. Sometimes it doesn't work, but it's an expensive bomb too. They're 220 points, so I don't recommend that. But they're good with a certain list. Like, I built my list to be very fast, so obviously a Mortis engine being moving forward is not going to help me a whole lot.
All right, so talk about these guys.
My Cairn Wraiths and the
Because we're kind of at the tail end of our time. So.
Yep. So with these guys, the Cairn Wraiths and Tomb Edge can also be taken as heroes, which is really good when you want to just load up a unit with them. Try and force a Vampire Lord into second rank, which is also awesome. So they're pretty good for a rare. They are skirmisher units, so that makes them pretty hard to deal with. They all get terror, and then you can, if you upgrade it to the Tomb Banshee, you get her little scream, which is just a 2d6 plus 3. So that's pretty good. Personally, a lot of people I see put all their rare choices into Terrorgeist or Mortis Engines. So typically the Cairn Wraiths and Tomb Banshees are taken as heroes, if at all. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole list. Inside the book, there's not really a whole lot worth mentioning. Vargulfs aren't that great, unfortunately. They're cool models, they're awesome looking, they're not terrible in the game, but I would say they're too pricey for what they do. Blood Knights, same boat, they're awesome, they're really good, they do what they do good, and they're not that, but they're just so expensive, they're 50 points a pop. One special unit I did look over though, well, two special units I did look over though, is Hex Wraiths and Corpse Guards. Hex Wraiths are your other unit for cav. They're fast cavalry and they're ethereal, so but they have a special rule that every time they walk over anything, they're going to be doing hits on it. So I would definitely, if you're building a Vampire Counts army, I would definitely look at Hex Wraiths. They are by far the best cav that you have to offer besides the Black Knights. And they're also ethereal, so they're at the same time hard to deal with. So yeah, I would say that is the entirety of Vampire Counts. You can build them to be a slow-moving hammer army or a very fast-moving, as I did, with a bunch of wolves and knights and stuff. So yeah, and that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Blue Table fans, that's what it's all about for Vampire Counts. And as you guys know, I had a Vampire Counts army for quite some time. Whoa, that chair is weird. Okay. All right, guys, so as you know, I had a Vampire Counts army for quite some time. Absolutely loved it, and had a blast with them. They have great models, very evocative. The range is very strident now. And I do love the skeleton models. Those things are really fantastic. So what you do if you want to set up a Vampire Counts army is you email projects@bluetablepainting.com. We'll give you a quote. If you want to just kind of toy around with it, we do have this auto-calculating spreadsheet for Vampire Counts where you just type in the quantities and the levels and it will auto-calculate it. Do remember that we do give discounts for bulk. So if you have like, you know, hundreds of guys, then we definitely can work around that because especially for Vampire Counts, we can really get you a good deal on those massed armies. We love horde armies here. So Vampire Counts can be a lot of fun. Again, they're very evocative. They're one of the most popular Warhammer Fantasy armies. You know, they've really held their own. And okay, well, I hope you enjoyed and got your inspiration for the day.